Wanted to welcome everyone to the PLA podcast. Today we have the incredible guest, Sree Bendapudi. And I want to take a couple minutes to introduce this incredible guest that we have. And it's an absolute privilege to be the one to interview her on today's podcast. So Sree Bendapudi is a performance architect, and cloud transformation leader with deep expertise in Gen AI and resilience engineering. Known for turning complexity into clarity and thriving when systems are under pressure, passionate about building systems and testing them to break to drive continuous improvement. Believes in leading with her personal mantras be the eye in kind, and a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Recognized as a problem solver and innovator, helping organizations optimize enterprise scale platforms. Focus on creating AI powered safety solutions and future ready digital systems, bringing not just technical mastery, but a heart centered, resilient approach to both work and life. Sree, welcome to today's podcast episode. It's such an absolute privilege to have you on here and to have gotten to know you over the last few months through the PLA community.
Thank you, Dunia. The privilege is mine to join this podcast. Well, have you ever wondered why some systems crash during the peak events while others seem to get stronger the more pressure you put on them? Well, I think it's all called as a so-called resilience. Well, my name is Sree Bendapudi, and I have spent over 20 years building systems that just don't survive the chaos that is all put around, but they thrive on it.
Wow. It's so powerful. I think there's something to be said about a time like now where there's so much change happening, especially with AI disrupting the flow of things in so many ways and creating a lot of opportunities and a lot of change overnight. And so I think you're the perfect person that will be interviewing today. I wanted to, Sree, take a little bit of a walk through memory lane. Where is Sree from? Tell us a little bit about your childhood, a little bit about, those key elements that were there all along that were really in some ways determining that, they in some ways set the tone for your journey and for your
It's
life.
such a powerful question, Dunia. You're just taking me decades back into who Shri is, Shri was, and how Shri is right now. Well, I'm from India. I won't say I'm from a small village or something. I'm from a city named Vishakhapatnam, which is good. It's all surrounded by the beautiful scenery of mountains and beaches. So I'm blessed to be born in that place. And we are a family of six, having four siblings altogether, and I'm the second one. So I take the privilege of me acting as a tomboy in my home, being all girls. So I think that this is kind of implanted since my childhood to keep checking on stuff and be resilient, because when we are actually in a family of so many, you will always have the bummer or anything that you do with your family, right? With all your siblings. So I started exercising my muscle of resilience without my knowledge from childhood. And I have traveled from a city named Vishakhapatnam, from one of the state, Andhra Pradesh. And from there, my journey continued to out of city for my graduation, and out of state for my post graduation, and out of country for my work related. And I landed up in North America, and here I go. I think I won't say that everything is a smooth cakewalk for me or even to anyone. If somebody says that, it's a big lie. No, it will never happen. And I have gone through a lot of blockers, a lot of bummers, and you fall and rise. And that's how you become resilient, whether it's your personal life, whether it's your professional life, or the so called applications that we are designing. And that's how I think it's inherited from childhood and carried all this way along. Um, and I'm blessed that I'm part of the performance engineering and I'm a performance architect and thought leader in that space, both personally and professionally.
Beautiful. I think one of the things that comes up as you share your story is not only the resilience, but the adaptability. I think you face so many times changes, even through these moves and throughout your career, from everything that I know of you. And you've faced that resilience head on and really built that within and in some ways shown a tremendous amount of evidence of adaptability over the years. And it really makes you so special and so valuable to have at the table.
Absolutely.
Excellent. I wanted to ask you a question. You know what? If we were to go back in time and someone had shared with you the best piece of advice when you had come to North America, what do you think it would be now looking back?
As you're going along your way, this is actually said by my dad, and somehow it is very deeply rooted and implanted in my heart and soul. Whatever comes your way, just embrace, even though you know that you're not going to use right away. Embrace, learn, and own it. It's okay, but have it in your toolbox. You never know when that comes handy.
That's beautiful. I love this. You know, I think that piece of owning it, just own it. I think there's something really valuable to that. And I wanted to in some ways create a bridge question to this first question. What would you say to a young woman in tech that is making her way from India to North America for the very first time today?
Get ready for change. The future is yours, and everything is waiting. If you just keep focusing on you, and if you can't slow down, you can never see what is waiting for you.
Oof, so good. So, 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 so good. Wow. I think it's so powerful in so many ways. And I'd be curious to see and to ask you, quite honestly, what have been the most difficult pieces of change or moments of change throughout your life and career that have really shaped you to become the woman that you are in tech with this resiliency, with this adaptability, and with such a proactive mindset?
I would say detachability.
Mm,
I get attached to everything and anything I see, whether it's a plant, it's a people I meet,
mm,
even if it's a non-living thing like my pen, and I get attached to them so much that I still use some of my stuff,
mm,
um, which are 25 years old. And recently, I was having a conversation with my son. I am basically, as part of my graduation, I'm an electrical and electronics engineering. I have chosen a tough subject. As a girl in that era, nobody chooses electrical or mechanical engineering to go with. But my mindset always is if you can do something which is difficult, the most difficult, nothing else is difficult for you later part. So it's a kind of memory I just shared with my son 3 days back. And being an electrical engineer, you always have to carry a tester so that the electricity doesn't shock you. And when I saw that, I was telling, and look, this is something from 25 years. If it is 100 years, they might keep it in a museum, but now it is with me. So treasure it.
mm,
And I'm attached to that. So everything what I own, what I carry, what I see has a story associated to that. And I love storytelling. And I think I'm a good narrator too. So, in my opinion, to answer your question, detachability is the toughest thing because I get attached to everything so easily. And I keep telling, let it go, let it go. It's okay to let it go.
yeah. It's fascinating. As someone who's gotten to know you quite deeply over the last few months, I have to say that there's this incredible very collaborative and co-creative duality within you, from what I know. There's this piece of being so adaptable to change, so in touch with innovation and where the world is moving in tech, and also so much love for people, for kindness, for connection, and through this sense of attachment that you're mentioning to us. And it's very obvious to someone who's gone to know you that both those sides that are very complementary to each other live within you continuously. And it's a privilege to see that, because so many of us usually lean towards one side versus the other, but you really have such a good blend of both. And it's been a privilege to witness and watch over the last few months.
And it's also very difficult to balance both. I don't say that I just had this come overnight. I
Mm,
have practiced. I have days when I have cried when things didn't go my way. And I learned the hard way that it's okay if it doesn't go. But if you haven't even made an attempt, then you wouldn't know that it will not go that way. So, action taking and embracing the failure is one of the biggest blessing in anybody's life. For instance, if you take Wright brothers, and I was really amazed reading their story in the US Museum, where they used to carry 10 different sets of all those um, required components to build an aeroplane. And they themselves don't know how many times they have broken their bones. They know that they are going to break them, but that didn't stop them up from going and doing stuff, because if that vision is not there, then we don't have the fire to do it. If we don't have the fire, I don't believe that we would be there to do anything at this point of time. There's so many examples like this, like internet. Imagine those days when we used to have the dial-up connection and we used to sit there in 1999, 2000, that 30 minutes to launch yahoo.com. And that relates to performance. Now, imagine the people from those days to now. They used to have patience. They can wait for 30 minutes to log in or wait for yahoo.com to launch. And imagine about the people now. If it is not launching in 5 seconds or 3 seconds, oh, come on, it's not performing well. I'll move away. I'll try to find something. ChatGPT, can you tell me what can I do? So I think it's continuous thriving, innovation, vision, and have the gut to accept the failure and learn from the failure.
yeah. I love that quote that you shared, that pick the hard now. Pick the hard now. And that piece with, if you have the vision, you will have the burning desire to bring it to life. That burning fire actually is the word that you use. And there are some great, you know, write-ups and articles and books that have talked about the power of vision. And so I'm curious, Sree, what's the next vision for you? What is the next vision that is, you know, keeping that incredible fire that you have and you carry so well with you around? What is it like? Tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, the technology changes, but the roots doesn't.
Mm,
So I was thinking about this story last night. Performance, right? Can you imagine anybody's world without performance? When you are at school, oh, how is your kid performing? The teacher say, how come the student is performing so well? What can we do to improve the performance? And when you go to doctor office, they'll ask, oh, how is the kid performing? How is it growing? Where it is growing? And you come out of school, based on your performance, you're going to get into a good college. And once you come back to office, well, we want performing systems. The performance is everywhere. I don't think we can imagine a world without performance. So I would strongly advocate and proud to say that performance is my road, and I'll be the performance architect, architecting with different technologies. And to answer your question, what's new? AI.
mm,
I'm going to architect the performance using the AI,
mm,
which will help me to use my strategic thinking to build not fragile, anti-fragile systems where the business or the business owners or the enterprise need not worry about, oh no, my system is broken. What should I do now? Well, we can design them so even though they are broken, they can mend themselves and back to life again.
Wow. Yeah, I think there's such a strong theme here that's run through the questions, the interview, and each one of your answers really is to not be afraid of failure. And actually, failure will give us insights on what needs to be strengthened to create that resilience, whether it's someone moving or changing continents, quite literally, to have an opportunity to build a better future for themselves and for their family and for their careers and for the legacy they leave behind. Or if it's about a system that we're trying to create that is going to be innovative and future thinking and really allowing the world to perform with much more ease, to not be afraid of testing it to the point of failure, to give us the insights necessary to be able to build something truly resilient. And I think knowing you, that strength comes across quite evidently as we share space with you, Sree.
Right. Sure. Thank you for that kind words, Dunia.
My pleasure. And I would love to hear also a little bit more about Sree out of work, the balancing being a mom and work and really, not just any kind of mom, a mom that spends a lot of time outside of work, really investing in her growth, in her future, and paving the way for her children in a highly admirable way. I'd love to hear a little bit more about, what fills your time and what have been the exciting things outside of work that have really shaped who you are as a leader.
Certainly, that's very important question. I would really want to give an insight on what I look into. So, I'm not a scripted mom. I am a mom from the day my child was born. So, I don't know anything about parenthood, and every child is different. I don't know how much trouble I have given to my mom, and I know from the time that I gained my consciousness, I was like, okay, do this, do that. I am a biggest troublemaker in my home. So I don't wonder that my kids turn out to be like a saint, which is not going to happen. So oranges does not grow on the apple tree similarly. You can't expect your kids. Every day it's a challenge for me to understand, keep changing my strategy with my two little boys. I think that things are going okay, and all of a sudden I see a speed breaker, and it's also cloudy that I can't even feel like why things are happening like this. So I have to slow down, sit back, or move out of that situation to visualize that from the 25,000 feet sometimes versus also 50 feet because you have to feel the other person to come up with a strategy. You have to live in those shoes. I had to keep changing my strategy every single day and sometimes every single hour to make things work, but still that doesn't shape up properly. And I'm absolutely fine with that. You might be thinking, how come Shree is saying that absolutely fine? Well, I go mad. But that is what is required for us to again stand back up and think about what next? How can I make it better? Because all across your life, nothing happens the way you want to. The only thing you can control is only you. There's nothing else you control. So accept and embrace any failure, anything that is not happening your way, so that you can come out of that situation and think something uniquely and differently in order to move forward. That's my mantra. Like, be the I in kind. Be kind to yourself while you are beating up when your kids are not listening to you. And it's the same thought that just goes in my workspace professionally. And that's my thought leadership, where embrace the change, Don't be panic when you see a production issue. Learn from the failures. So if there's a production issue in the production of any organization, very big retail chains or supply chains, anything that you're working on, the very first thing some people may get in is a panic mode. When you get into the panic mode, it's very hard to decide and think through where the problem is lying because your mind is all over. So slow down. Issues do happen. Human errors do happen. That doesn't mean you're cutting the corners. Learn from what you have failed. Put that such that next time you're ensuring every piece of the corner is covered. And that's how we can bring our thought leadership of how we can be resilient and build anti fragile systems. You have to thrive when you're failing. If you are not, I think you can never come out of that situation.
I think, and this theme seems to be playing in every aspect of your life. This open mindedness to try and to adapt and to change and not be afraid of failure, whether it comes to parenting, whether it comes to work, whether it comes to career, whether it comes to life, whether it comes to your growth. And I think there's something really powerful. So you mentioned something really interesting is when systems fail us or something runs wrong, the automatic response of many people is to panic. And you mentioned the disfavor that it does to the team and what the team is trying to achieve in understanding the system, creating adaptability, creating resilience, creating change, creating that piece of evolution. What would you say would be some tools, tricks, or techniques you would recommend to people to stay calm rather than to panic? Are there any things that you would recommend? Like, even though we say to them, okay, don't panic, what can they do instead?
Breathe,
Mm,
breathe, and see humans as humans.
mm. Tell us
We
more.
can be kind to ourselves and them.
Mm,
And as I also have mentioned, smooth sea does not make skilled sailors. If everything goes well as planned, how do we learn how to be bouncing back
mm,
when a failure happens? There's a famous quote by Dr. Kalam Azad, who's a great scientist back in India. The definition of fail is first attempt in learning.
mm,
Every day is a learning. Every minute is a learning. You can learn from anything or everything that you see. Unless you let go your ego, you really can't have the vision of seeing that learning from them. For instance, um, as I said, I'm a good storyteller. I hope you don't mind me telling one more story.
okay, go for it, Sree.
So I came across a story where honeybee is the only living thing in the world which can make honey. It goes and sucks the nectar from millions of flowers or thousands of flowers. It does its processing and then it spit out in that beehive so that it can make the honey. Well, we humans actually squeeze all the honey from there and keep it back. If the honeybee thinks that, oh no, all my hard work is gone and somebody has taken it, what can it do?
Mm,
It doesn't give up there.
mm,
It again does everything from the scratch. When a small living being can do this, why can't we adapt that change
mm,
in us as human beings so we can embrace the failure and bounce back from it?
mm,
People may steal our work, people may steal our ideas,
mm,
but they can't steal the skill how we can run the show. It's you who is the owner of what you can present, how you can exhibit. You are in charge of everything.
Mm.
If your team is not performing well, well, I think it's time as a leader to go back and check and have a one on one conversation to make them feel comfortable and find out what is that one bug, not only in the applications, but also in the personal life, that
Mm.
you can step on board to help them ease and educate them or give that environment and space where they can thrive, learn, which is a win win for everyone. The leader is the one who can push and pull. Now, the trigger is in our hands on how we want to do that. You want to stomp or take the burden,
Mm.
let your team innovate and do.
Wow. I love that. That was a clip and a mic drop in itself, truly. And the story of the honeybee is just so metaphorical and so good. And this happens quite often. We see this where, people steal our work or people get frustrated and the entire project that they spent years building and countless of hours putting together either vanishes in thin air or breaks or is taken or is stolen. And you're absolutely right. A honeybee doesn't sit there pouting for days, depressed, discouraged. The honeybee says, let me go to the next flower and collect more honey, get some pollen and create more honey. Wow, and such a deep teaching and such a simple lesson that nature teaches us. And I love this. I think there's and you also mentioned the importance of connecting to one another and getting to know what is that bug, whether it's in the system and application or one's life, and how we can support one another as a team. And it does also, in some ways, create in some like a connection to a beehive. As a beehive, are we working in community to work together as a team, as a collective, to find the solutions, to find the holes and gaps to make it work? Or are we operating on our own and truly not as efficient as an entire system coming to work together? It's been and I wanted to touch on this. It's been an absolute privilege seeing you in the community in the beehive of PLA, and it's been an absolute privilege getting to know you on a very personal level. And I think that anyone watching this recording, if you haven't gone to connect with Sree and gone to have not gone to connect to her fire and her incredible resilience, this is my invitation to do so, to reach out to her and really take a moment and get to know this brilliant, beautiful woman that is really leading the way in how things are getting done in this world. And the way she shows up and embodies the work, the inner work and the outer work, is rare today. So I just really want to highlight that to begin with. Yeah. So Sri, thank you for your time today. And I just wanted to ask, this has been a transformational journey through PLA, and you've really shown up as a leader. You've shown up in such like an incredible member and a contributor to this community. What would you say were the biggest and greatest teachings of your PLA journey up until now?
It's been a very incredible journey, I would say, and proximity and like mindedness help you grow. I always relate this to my one of my favorite things on this earth, which is plants. They are carrying life. If you want your plants to thrive, keep them in the like-minded set. Don't put them in the dark. Don't put them in the silo mode where they can't even get the resources. In the current era, we have resources everywhere. They are so scattered that everybody is kind of confused
Mm,
on where to go,
yes.
what to plug to
Yeah.
have it as your, yes, this is the one. Each of us are in the confused mode. That's when we have to, as a PLA community, the 1% really crazy people, stand up every Saturday morning
Mm,
in order to feel the warmth of each other,
mm,
exchanging the ideas and their craziness as one show for 2 hours.
mm,
It deeply brings out in each of us the inner me. the younger person of each of us. So we can still wear the hats of our superheroes
Mm.
that we were wearing as kids, dreaming about conquering the world, which we can still do. And somehow we lost that charm and charisma during the course of transformation to adulthood. I think we are still having that superheroes waiting for us and an invitation. So they just pound out and then lead our ways. And PLA has been a platform for us to be there. Each
Wow.
of us share that proximity and that you can share anything vulnerably and no judgments.
Mm.
I believe judgment is one of the factor people will zip up their mouth. So they're afraid to hear anything what to say.
Mm.
But it depends on us how we would like to take it. You want to take it deep inside your heart or just around your aura where that can just shrugged off. It's up to us, Dunia. But
Mm.
PLA has been a commendable and truly, truly amazing community with 1% crazy people always, always holding their hands virtually and joining for the virtual coffees on Saturday morning and
Mm.
Sunday morning too.
It's
They're,
so.
they are there for each other in times of up and down too, not just sharing the ideas or knowledge. They're truly human and
Mm.
bring human out of us.
Absolutely. It's, I often say this in the PLA community, and I don't shy away from saying it. After spending a ton of years, almost even more so than a decade in personal development, it's rare to see a community at that quality. And truly, like you said, proximity to people that really want what's best in this world, that are willing to go to this crazy 1%, to be part of the crazy 1%, actually, to bring things, opportunities, and goals and desires to life that the average person has, in some ways, given up on allowing themselves to continue dreaming into and to believe that can be possible. And like you say, like these things, these communities are contagious. So when one person truly believes they're crazy enough to bring their wildest dreams to life, and that is supported by an entire community of people who believe just as much, then all of a sudden this magical experience starts to happen, quite literally, where success is extremely contagious. It's a lifestyle, it's a mindset, it's a frequency, it's a standard of living, whether it comes to our work and our personal life. And you're right, we've been in this community where we have truly seen each other through the ups and downs of life, whether there were career changes or unexpected shifts in our industry, where we were going through some of the most difficult and transformational experiences in our own personal life that were part of our journey. There's something truly magical, and it's just like it leaves me quite speechless quite often. And thank you for sharing that space and being such an incredible contributor to that community. And it's just been an absolute journey to witness you shine in this community, to see your own journey of transformation, and to get excited and keep rooting for you for everything that continues to come for you, Sree.
And I also want to share one more thing, Dunia. As a child, I thought that you need coach only in the sports, but I am wrong. You need coach even for you to be what you want to be. And I realized that lately, even though I regret that I couldn't really think about it earlier part of my life, I'm so happy meeting our coaches, Vamsi, Venkat, Brendan, and our Chief Heart Officer, Dunia, who actually makes everyone feel comfortable. You should have the listening ears in order to at least not solve the problem of everyone, but give the courage for the other person to stand up and be resilient to the changes and ups and downs of their life that they are facing. So, thanks to everyone, each of them, for helping us be where we are and listening to us. as I always say, you can't have a sound with just one hand. You should have the sound with, you should join the second hand in order to have that, right? You can't hear the sound. So the melodious sound can happen when you have the right
Mm.
note, which will be done with our coaches, the wonderful and lovely coaches. And that brings the beautiful life out of us, wearing different hats at different occasions and be what we are truly.
Oh, thank you, Sree. And I just want to touch on one last thing you brought up is it takes responsibility when it comes to doing the work. It takes someone who's willing to do the work, and you have been willing to do the work. Like many of our PLA community members, but it's so rare today, and I think that's something major to highlight. And I want to just close it on this note. And I actually wanted to speak to the audience for just a quick moment. Is if you truly believe that you are someone who wants better for yourself, that you have had dreams that have been in some ways a little bit dormant in the last few years in you, and that you're ready to reignite them, and you're thinking, there's got to be more to life. There's got to be more to my career. I can be a better husband. I can be a better wife. I can be a very better parent to my children. And I am willing to take responsibility and be part of a community that's going to allow me to really reach for and bring to life these goals. I'm going to put a beautiful little QR code on screen, and you will be able to find through this link that I'm about to share the next free training that will give you a little bit of a taste of what Sree and I are talking about today, and what has been this wild, crazy community of the under one percenters that have never taken no for an answer and have said there's got to be more to life. And we're those crazy people that have been that and continue to. So if that calls you forward, I just wanted to put that invitation. I'm just going to pop the little QR here. And so feel free to scan this when you get a moment. You'll be able to be brought to this incredible website, and it'll give you the insights and the details on when our next free training is. And it'll give you a little bit of a glimpse and a taste into the world that Sree and I have been talking about for the last few minutes. So I just wanted to take a moment and thank the incredible Sree Bendapudi for her time today, for her dedication to her career, to the community, and to the incredible things that are still on her journey and way ahead. And I cannot wait to be a witness of them and to keep enjoying this journey with you, Sree. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your time today. Truly.
So much. I just want to have the closing notes of by saying that be the change you want to see the change in the world. Take that first step to move forward. All it takes is that momentum of taking that first step, and everything else falls easy. With that, thank you, Dunia, for the opportunity.
Thank you, and have a beautiful day, everyone. All the best as always, and we'll talk so soon, Sree. Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.